Black magic.
You got to know, got to show, it's time to roll. So just tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want, so just tell me what you want to hear.
Welcome back to another edition of Danish TV. Oh, wait, no, RatG TV. As you can see, Steve's pretty stoked with another
huge win today.
And it wasn't, what was the final? 2-0?
4-0.
4-0. That's when I shut it off. It was 2-0.
Yeah.
So, I mean, wow. Did you expect this?
Yeah, like they won the Euro Cup back in '92, and the only reason they got in was because one team was disqualified. So that was, they were a Cinderella story right from the start. This one didn't start like that. This one was very scary. The first game, star players going down, and then they lost that game. They lost the next game and became the first team to make it to the knockout stage in their final game without a point.
Yeah, that's insane that we're talking about soccer. No,
Right.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I realize how huge footy is across the globe. And to all of you that have been waiting for Euro Cup, happy Euro Cup. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying 2021. A lot of it is opening up right now. Sorry, we missed last week. You could probably hear it in my voice. I'm a little stuffed up. I had surgery a little over a week and a half ago. Everything's kind of... It's better today. I told Steve, today's the first day I had a sense of smell back. So, I could smell the cat litter. So it's like, oh, can we put the gauze back up there? But yeah. Luke, how you doing, brother? Come on, Denmark?
Right?
He's a Dane. What do you expect? Is that what a Dane? Is that what you call them?
Yes.
You do sound pretty good. Why, thank you.
We await the winner of Netherlands and Czechoslovakia next.
Nate says it took some 15 minutes to explain offsides in soccer. I don't think I still understand it. So once you get to a certain point, you can't be past where the ball is. The ball always has to be in front of the offense.
Right.
Basically. Enjoying 2021. I thought it was still 2010. That's how much you drink, though, Luke. We're going to have an intervention one day.
Sticking with sports for a minute, did you hear in the news this week about the Olympics? So they said they're still going forward with the Olympics. Only Japanese citizens will be allowed to attend the games at limited capacity and no cheering.
Yeah. And a lot of countries are talking about, like, we're not going. Because Japan still hasn't got their shit together either when it comes to vaccines and for them, beating this. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Luke says whiskey is good.
Whiskey is good.
Whiskey the bottle's getting a little low. Cheers to you. Kurt Jr., how you doing, my friend? Long-time RatG TV supporter. And came up with
even though he's a
designs.
Steelers fan, we love him anyway.
I mean, it's better than being a Bengals fan. I almost wore my Vikings jersey today. I'm not going to lie. Do you think the Vikings could surprise teams this year? I mean, if our defense is what our defense normally is and not what it was last year, I mean, nobody's looking at it.
Together at quarterback, I think that they can make some noise.
Yeah. They announced the first U.S. skateboarding team today. Excited for the new sports, and softball is back in the Olympics.
Yeah,
that's huge. Now, who's the best skateboarder in the world? Because I haven't paid attention to skateboarding since Bob Burnquist. Well, Bob Burnquist, I think, was more of a BMXer, but since like Tony Hawk days when it was really big basically at the start of the X Games, we were around at that time.
Yeah, watching him do the very first ever. What was
900
it? Or 900?
900, yeah. And I think he just did a 700 not long ago. And that was like the last one he'll ever do. I'm sure it's still Tony Hawk. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure he's still the GOAT, but I'm sure that there's people that are leaps and bounds ahead of him by now. You'd figure someone has to be.
Do you remember cleaning the cube?
I remember Christian Slater.
Right.
Right, yeah, man. That was a great movie, actually. Like a really good movie.
I believe Tony Hawk was in that movie.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how good it was now. I got to go back and watch it. But I remember I liked it as a kid, but I honestly don't remember much at all about it. Every time I think of that movie and I try to remember scenes from it, I start thinking of the other movie he was in where he was the pirate DJ.
Oh, right.
Pump up the volume.
Pump up the volume, yes. Happy Harry Hard On.
Yeah. Happy Harry Hard On. Oh, and folks, I'm going to apologize all night about my nose being stuffed. This is the first time I've done anything where I've recorded with my voice in succession of 5 minutes. So we'll see how this goes. Boris says,
Wembley, like Wembley's got to hold like what 120,000.
Yeah, that's not even half of it.
Yeah.
If Rodgers isn't in Green Bay, you should win the division. That's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking, and I'm putting this out to you, Aaron Rodgers. You've constantly wanted to get out of Brett Favre's shadow. You're both one Super Bowl in Green Bay. That's it. You're both regarded as two of the greatest quarterbacks in Green Bay Packers history. The Trinity is Bart Starr, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
If you really want to outdo Favre, you got to go to Minnesota and win a Super Bowl there. Favre came short winning a Super Bowl with Minnesota. I'm just saying. And what a way to really stick it to the Packers than to, come to the Vikings. Come over. We'll take you. We will take you. What was the Disney Channel movie about skateboarding? A dog groomer was their sponsor. Johnny Tsunami. That's where sheesh came from. They didn't do this, but his uncle, which was the bad guy, he was Shang-Chi or Shang Tzu or whatever it was in Mortal Kombat. But that was the uncle in Johnny Tsunami, which is the Disney skateboarding movie I think you're talking about. But he used to say, sheesh, but he didn't do this like you kids do. I'm just saying, we started it. We didn't even start it. That was a baby boomer that did that. So, yeah. Amber Williams says, Untamed Heart. Awesome movie. Christian Slater is a great actor. Yeah. Christian Slater had so many great movies back then. Untamed Heart was great. Him and Aunt May. Marissa Tomei.
That's right.
Who I still love. Heathers, another. We could do a Christian Slater top 5 day easily because he's been in so many great things. Mobsters, one of my all-time favorite mafia movies. I know a lot of people don't like it because it was very Hollywood, but I don't give a shit, man. I loved it. Richard Grieco as Benny Siegel. Patrick Dempsey as Mark Mansky.
Too.
What's that?
I loved his character in Young Guns too.
Oh my God, that's right.
Did they mention my name? Did they mention my name in the paper?
He was such a dick. And then he was a dick in the Robin Hood movie. He played Will Scarlet.
Right.
That's right. Oh, love Christian Slater. And if you're if you like DC animated movies, go watch. I think it is Suicide Squad: Assault on Arkham, and he plays Deadshot in that movie, and it's great. He's also was in an episode of Rick and Morty last year. Arkansas Dave, yeah, man.
Yeah.
True Romance is to this day my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie of all time. He wrote it, folks. He wrote it.
I just read today that Quentin Tarantino said he had considered remaking Reservoir Dogs as his final movie, but not going to do it.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to put that in as a story here because he said that last night on the Bill Maher show.
Mm-hmm.
It was last night on Bill Maher, and he said that he was going to read. And I'm like, that is, out of every movie he's ever directed, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
That is by far, to me, the best Quentin Tarantino written and directed movie and acted in as well. Yeah, so good. We're pretty much blowing Quentin Tarantino right now, but he deserves it. Maybe not for the last half of his movies, but the first half was great.
The last movie I really enjoyed of his was Django.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I didn't like Hateful Eight at all. I still haven't watched all of it. I can't get past that first hour.
3 days.
Dude, it took me 3 attempts to just get through that first hour.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. And I love everybody in that movie.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell is a powerhouse. Sam Jackson's a powerhouse. And Tarantino, we loved his stuff, but too much talking now. And he's not Aaron Sorkin, so he's not. I'm sorry. Tarantino's dialogue is great in short spurts because it's witty and it's quick and it's funny. It's not good for drawn out dialogue heavy monologues. It just doesn't work. And Hateful Eight, it fucking killed me trying to watch that. Django was brilliant. Yeah, I completely agree. It was the last of the great Tarantino movies for me. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, yes, Christian Slater and Kevin Costner. Yeah, so we really are doing a show. I'm going to focus on stuff, but we've been gone for a couple of weeks, so we do like catching up with all of you. And this is what we do. We kind of shoot the shit. As you can see behind me, in case you guys are wondering what's with the background there, we'll get into the story later. But that is actor Courtney Gaines. Courtney. He's been in everything and a lot of scary movies.
This day is the movie that freaked me out most as a kid.
Which one?
Children of the Corn.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Children of the Corn was creepy. That's him there. Yeah. I'm going to be interviewing him right here. Whatever platform you're watching this on right now, whether it's YouTube, whether it's my page, whether it's Rides All Things Ski, whether it's the group page, whatever. That page, that's where we will be airing the interview. You can ask questions of Courtney as well during the show. So please make sure you tune in. It's going to be early. It's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. I know a lot of you will be working. You can catch it later. But yeah, so make sure you tune in and check that out. Just a little bit of housekeeping for you. I feel like I should blow my nose. But I'm at that point. I'm not bleeding anymore. But I'm at that point where I'm trying to blow my nose, but it's all that, because they had to do surgery up in my sinuses up here, they've got like structures up here of gauze and whatever that will dissolve over time. But it always makes me feel like my nose needs to be blown.
Right.
And it won't. I know you guys are loving this. But yeah, that being said, so it's been a couple weeks. I asked you last week, and I'm not sure what brought it on. Well, I think I know what brought it on, and I'm kind of sad to say I didn't include it in my list, and I feel like I should have. But it was a Britney Spears trial that really made me think about this. The topic this week being biggest Hollywood scandals. And when we say Hollywood, we don't mean Hollywood. We mean entertainment. The biggest scandals that have happened in entertainment to us, like not to us, but in our opinion. And if you have any that you want to mention, throw them up there. You know how this works. We'll put them in the comments. We'll post them up there for you. Don't blow your nose, mate. You know I know. Yeah, no, I know. Actually, I'm at the point where I can start blowing. I just can't blow hard. Phrasing. Hit me, baby, one more time. Yeah, I mean, did you see that shit? Like, I knew that they had conservatorship over her.
Right.
I didn't know the extent. I didn't know her fucking dad had an IUD still in her. Like, he gets to determine whether she has children or not. She's got to be coming close to 40 soon. Like, what in the living fuck is that? Like, I'm sorry. And I was, when all this was happening and everyone was free Britney, I didn't know enough about the story. I didn't really care. And I don't mean that meanly or not. It's just Britney Spears was a generation after me. So it wasn't something that was in my wheelhouse. But seeing the shit that we heard, oh my God, that poor girl. And it's the same shit I always said about Justin Timberlake. Like, when people would say about how crazy he was and how much of a fuck up he was, I'm like, kid was 15 years old and was given like millions and millions of dollars and then became the most popular person on the planet. I would have went crazy at 15 as well. I'm just saying, you know, and then to go through all your puberty and growing up through that age that we all fucked up in, and then to have the whole world watching you, plus having the power that he had, I'm surprised he didn't go worse. I'm surprised the kid's alive. I should say I'm surprised the man's alive because he is a man now. but yeah, it was absolutely crazy. This was a big one. The one I saw this one when we were researching it. Winona Ryder, kleptomaniac, one of the richest people in the world, and she's like shoplifting Shoppers Drug Mart. Facebook user, that must be someone who's blocked on Facebook right now. Ian, I'm gonna guess that's Ian Bradley saying she's 40 this year. Yeah, that's crazy. I feel bad for her, honestly. Like, that's not the way it should be. You should be able to have some kind of control of your life at that point. So, anyways, that being said, we are doing Steve and I's top 5 most scandalous moments in Hollywood history. Steve, you always start us off every week. You're going to get us started off this week as well. What's the number 1 on your list?
So number 5, working back to 1. I don't know what order you had them in, but it was Paul Rubens. Arrested for pleasuring himself in an adult theater. We all knew Paul Rubens growing up as Pee Wee Herman from Pee Wee's Playhouse. He was also in a couple Cheech and Chong movies. Really did roadblock in his career for a little while. He did come back. We saw him in Blow. We saw him in Buffy. So he has come back a little bit. But, I mean, it's an adult theater. I don't know what you expect guys to be doing in an adult theater.
Exactly.
I think this was kind of targeting.
The best joke, though, that we had as kids at that point was, "What's this?" Or "What's this?" Pee Wee's Playhouse.
I forgot that one.
I was going to say, how did you not know that one?
Not that one.
That's Fox Mom. She should not be stealing. I don't get the joke. Must have been something we missed earlier. Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake, that was a big one. That showed up on a lot of the list I looked up as well. Derek For Real.
Derek For Real. That was Pee Wee Herman's or Paul Rubens' character in Blow.
Oh, right. Yeah. Pee Wee Herman masturbating in public, as Steve just said. That was his number 5 on the list. So that brings us to number 4, another celebrity.
Number 4, Rob Lowe, who, I mean, everybody knows Rob Lowe. He's been in everything from movies to TV, and this was a big one. Sex Tape came out years after the fact with him and what we found out to be a 16-year-old girl at the time.
Yeah, and that was huge. And so he settled with the mother and only did 20 hours community service. And I honestly forgot about this.
Is that saying he got off easy?
I mean, if this would have came out now,
right,
he would never recover. But because it came out back then, it was swept under the rug pretty quickly. Even though it was public knowledge, people just kind of accepted it.
Right.
Which is still fucked up to think about, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Lou Hoffman said Joss Whedon. That's a big one too right now. Joss Whedon. I mean, there's things from him being kind of a sexual bully to him just being a straight up bully on set. But then there's others that sing his praises that have worked with him, like Sarah Michelle Gellar and Nathan Fillion, that swear by him, and even Clark Gregg, who also heard that he was a good guy. They've all been kind of quiet about it.
Yeah.
But when asked, they seem to side with him.
That's just it, the today's Hollywood. Like, how much of this is a smear campaign and people jumping on board who is, and how much of it is the truth, right?
Yes, and that's what is the tough part. Is I feel for the real victims when fake victims come out,
right?
Because real victims are the ones that suffer twice. It's like they get assaulted a second time because of this. Because then they're like, well, we can't believe anybody now because we got fucking wolves in sheep clothing over here. So Woody Allen with his stepdaughter, yeah, man, that one was fucked. I don't know how Woody Allen gets any work. He almost made my list. Roman Polanski almost made my list as well. Tarantino almost made my list just because of the Uma Thurman thing. Go look it up. Mark Wahlberg almost made my list, but it happened before Hollywood. I'm just saying. I still say fuck that guy though. Until I hear a public apology from him and not him asking to be not just asking to be forgiven. Until I hear him apologize to the Asian community, to the black community, and to anybody else he fucking bullied as a fucking kid, fuck you. Sorry. It's just the way it is. I have no time for bullies at all. No time. I don't care who the fuck you are. Sorry. And next up on your list.
Next up, no, I mean, this is, I mean, you could argue one of the biggest scandals in Hollywood history. Michael Jackson being accused for the first time in 1993. I mean, multiple scandals followed. You know, some of these were settled out of court. Some of them went on for a while. Some of them had, you know, the kids testify. Like, it was just, it was so
here's the thing. I am not sticking up for Michael Jackson whatsoever. I always, you know me, and the people who've been watching this long enough know me. I'm the devil's advocate guy. I want to know all sides of stories or all possibilities before I make a judgment. When you've got Alfonso Ribeiro, Corey Feldman, and Macaulay Culkin, who all spent numerous nights over at Michael Jackson's place, who slept there, and every single one of them to a T, including Corey Feldman, who you and I know personally is all about the money, not one of them came out against Michael Jackson ever. And quite the opposite. They've supported him and said that is not who he is. They all say he's fucked up.
Corey Feldman even had that documentary that just came out about exposing the big sex ring in Hollywood, and Michael Jackson was not included.
And it's Corey fucking Feldman. It's Corey fucking Feldman. If there's anyone who could gain from saying shit to gain a little bit of clout, it's Corey fucking Feldman. And he is not the type that wouldn't be above that from our personal experience and from what we've seen in fucking entertainment. I'm sorry. This is not me sticking up for Michael Jackson whatsoever. This is me not having a stance on it because there's not enough out there. Normally I say if you've got a whole bunch of smoke, there's got to be some fire. But for as much smoke as there is out there, there's as many fucking firemen out there saying, no, that's not true. That's not true. So that's where I'm at. It's not like Bill Cosby. It's not like fucking Deshaun Watson, where they've got people supporting them. There was nobody supporting them or on their sides. With Michael Jackson, there's like a shit ton of people on his side that were close enough to have been abused.
And that's one of those things where look at it from the accused side, when you're that rich, would you rather just want to give people a bunch of money to just make this thing go away as quick as possible, whether you're guilty or not? I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, and I'm not saying he's not guilty, but
right. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Couple comments here to catch up on. Rob Lowe thing was bad. However, 16 is legal here. What's the legal age here? 18, I believe, is age of majority. As soon as you can vote, basically. But there's also a stigma here of, the age difference as well. Whether you're 18 or not doesn't really matter in North America. It's a look of, I mean, it's all individual case by case, but really 18's where we say we will fuck you up if it's younger than 18, legally and personally. Ernie Wilson says, damn, you were supposed to sound like Sean Connery after surgery. Oh my God. Trousers. I can still say trousers. I think a lot of MJ accusations were just bandwagon jumpers, possibly. And I don't want to say they're lying either, because they could be telling the truth. And if they are, me saying that they're lying, like I said, could be like a second assault almost on them, but this time on their psyche. And I am not trying to do that at all. Like, please
it's one of those things where you and I were not there. Nobody was there. It's a he said, she said, man.
Thank you. Britney, free Britney. Oh man, I was a tizzy, but I also blame myself. I got on Paris Hilton's site and I watched TMZ. Now, as much as Harvey and those guys at TMZ are all fucking scum, basically, they also get the news right.
Yeah.
Like they're right more than they're wrong. I trust their news a lot more than I do a lot of the other mainstream, just because Harvey's a lawyer and he worries about getting sued, so he knows what he can and can't do. Let me see. We got a lot of comments here. Sorry. She is basically a human trafficking victim. Yes, exactly. Parents settled for money, then probably made the kids tell false accusations. Could be. Could very well be.
You just don't know.
He beat it. Beat it. Brittany needs to be free. She is 39. 39. How do the courts not scrap this? Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong.
I mean, they're saying she can't run her own life because she's a little unstable. I mean, how many world leaders right now are running countries and are unstable? Like,
yeah, true. There was one that was just doing it for 4 years. Kevin Spacey, that was another big one. So here, how do we work it out? Like from rape to, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nate, because I'm not positive on this one, but and I don't want to say just, but compared to raping, didn't he rub his genitals on Anthony Rapp or grab Anthony's Rapp's hand and make him rub his own genitals? Creepy, I fucking agree, but I think that's the whole, like, I don't know if it went any further than that. And I'm not saying excusing that either. I'm just curious, honestly. Because I think Weinstein's a lot worse. Just to say, my MJ comments are my own, not a representation of RatG TV. Thank you. All right, sorry, Steve. We're all caught up there.
That's all right.
Do you remember where we left off? MJ.
Yeah, MJ. So
one good singer.
Yeah, my number 2 story. Now, this one was, we were young when this happened. This guy was such a huge, huge star across the music world. And we lost him far too early because of this bizarre murder committed by his father. And that was Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, man. And to be honest, because this happened before basically your and my time, I honestly didn't know about this until like the early 2000s or late or mid 2000s, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy though. Just to hear it all, and it was his own dad.
A day before his 45th birthday.
And I had read somewhere that he had said to his brother, because his brother was the one that held him in his arms as he was dying. He's like, I finally got him to do what I couldn't do. That's the report that was the last thing he said to his brother. So did he get his dad to kill him? Like, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Graham Arnold. How'd people be surprised at Spacey? He's the usual suspect.
Kaiser Soze.
Terry Crews had his junk grabbed. Yeah, but because he's a big black dude, and I don't mean the black part, but that's part of it, because he looks physically intimidating. People are like, oh, well, he can handle himself. No big deal. Men, we get a real bum rap when it comes to emotions, when it comes to being able to hurt, to have feelings and shit like that, or to even talk about them. Even me saying this now, there's people that are watching that are going to be like, oh shit, I lost a little bit of respect for him because I thought he was tough. No, man, like every single person on the planet has problems. And that's not saying that ours are worse than women's or are as good as bad as women's get. I'm saying everybody has their own shit that they deal with. And men, if you're watching this and you're a dude and you have some issues like that, you need to get that shit off your chest. We told you, drop us a line at Ryan's All Things Geek. We do not have answers. Don't come to us for answers. We don't have them. You just need someone to fucking, you know, bear fucking whatever or vent to. We will be those people. We also have on our page, the very first post, so as you go there, we have the Wikipedia page that has all the crisis helplines for all the different countries around the world that offer them. So please, if you are feeling down at all, take advantage of any of those, because don't let macho pride get in your way, man. As far as we know, you only live once. Live a good one, like for real. Sorry to go off on a tangent there. Mel Gibson,
Another one.
huge one, honestly. And I hate saying this. I love Mel Gibson as an actor and a director. I know as a person, he's a bit of a piece of shit. Well, I heard through the grapevine he was acquitted, and those guys testified something completely different than they have said recently and make bank doing it. I don't know. So, who are we talking about right now? So, when you guys comment and stuff like that, give us what you're talking about, because we've probably moved on from the story by the time we get to it.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and I'm sorry, Steve. I've done that to you a couple times. Number one story.
Now, this one was, we were in high school when this one happened. This one crossed genres. This was someone who was a sports figure. He was a TV star, an actor, a movie star, a big, just a role model for young people, young black people. And
known as the happiest guy in the world. Known as one of the happiest people in the world.
The double murder of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. Of course, OJ accused and acquitted of the murder, still convicted of wrongful death in a civil suit. This was one of those things that I know my dad was working at the time, and he would literally put in an 8-hour tape and tape the entire thing and come home and watch it. He watched every second of this trial.
That would never happen here. That would never happen in Canada. Our laws for journalism do not allow us to do shit like that. You know how Judge Ito? We would never know. Do you know the name of the judge from the Paul Bernardo trial? Me neither. There was the dancing Itos on Jay Leno.
Yeah. This one was a media circus. I mean, it took up almost 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
It's from the car chase to the Bronco chase to the conviction or the acquitted.
I took a first year, like a pre-college criminology course, and our criminology teacher, who was a lawyer in the area, took us to the Paul Bernardo pretrial, believe it or not, which was. But he had a theory about the OJ case. He said that he didn't think OJ did it. His theory, and it's a theory, we all know OJ was dealing heroin at the time for the Colombians. It was well known. It was made public in the court case. We also know that Nicole was a heavy heroin user. The story is, as you and I have known, we have buddies that deal in shit like this. Maybe, well, yeah, to that extent. But we know people like that. And we know guys who their girls have gotten into the stash. And repercussions had to have been made. This was what my teacher had said. His theory is that Nicole got into the heroin stash, and it was a lot. OJ couldn't cover it. They killed her in front of him. And Ron Goldman was wrong place, wrong time. I'm not saying that's what I believe. I'm not saying any of that's true. Just saying that's the theory my criminology teacher put out there. And I mean, it makes sense. Just because it makes sense doesn't make it means it's real. But maybe that's why you got off. The glove doesn't fit.
You must have quit.
It's a good list, buddy. All right, so we got here you go. A lot of comments here. Michael Jackson was who Nate was talking about when he said he was acquitted by all those guys and then testified later.
Yeah.
Ron says, finally, Steve, light that bitch up. We're going to. Oh, he did. Women can be way more inappropriate at the strippers. Okay. I'm glad somebody fucking said this.
To that right now.
I am glad somebody said this right now because women, y'all want to talk about how dirty and bad men are? Have y'all seen yourselves at a strip club? Because the way you act at a strip club makes men at a strip club look like choir fucking boys. I am not joking. We can't touch the strippers. We cannot. Never mind get a dick in our mouth. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. That happens. My mother ran a strip bar my entire life. Male strippers do something that's called the towel routine, where they hide, they go to an audience member and they put a towel between them and the rest of the audience, and then whoever's behind the towel can do whatever they want. I'm just saying. Yes, we've all witnessed. Media don't belong in court. Yes, they can see the verdict, but they can manipulate the verdict too much. Yeah, exactly. The court of public opinion seems to hold more sway in the United States than the actual courts. In Canada, we don't have that. If you're under 18, we can't mention your name. We can't interview lawyers. We can't interview judges. We can't do any of that stuff. When the Paul Bernardo trial happened, we got all of our inside dirt here in Canada from American reporters that would come over here that didn't have to abide by those same journalistic laws that we have here in Canada. Sorry, there's so much to go here, and I'm going to get on my 5 soon, but you guys seem to be really engaged this week. My theory is his son did it. He was clocked in at work, but never there. Yeah, I've heard that too, that it was OJ's son. I don't know. I don't know enough about his son, though, honestly. I've only just recently heard that a few times, though. Patrick Lassard. Yeah, Ron, you just Googled that, though. Did you know that off the top of your head? Like, Ron, we know you. You didn't know that ahead of time. I love you. That's not a slant on your intellect. I'm just saying, we know you. You didn't know that ahead of time. O.J. Simpson, unfortunately, the day of the Bronco chase was the day I was in the car accident that paralyzed me for life. If I ever see OJ, I'm running him over with the wheelchair. Yeah, Kurt. And nobody would be mad at you for it either. No glove, no love. What a great commercial. Tell me you're a Gen Xer without telling me you're a Gen Xer. No glove, no love. OJ, not strippers. Okay, yeah, I figured. I've seen girls get dry humped every time. Well, to be fair, so do the dudes.
So
she's worth of Bobby Bushy's mom. Women are the devil.
Women's strip joints or women at men's strip joints?
Women are way more disgusting. Way more disgusting.
Oh, yeah. And if you really want to see the truth of disgustingness between men and women when it comes to public outings, go to the trashiest bar in your neighborhood. Go into the men's bathroom. It's going to be disgusting. They go into the women's bathroom and look at dirty tampons. I've ran bars my entire life, so I'm speaking from experience. Dirty tampons, poop. I mean, everything you can imagine. Women's bathrooms and dirty bars are the worst. You said you didn't know, so I looked it up for you real quick. Oh, don't be sorry, buddy. I'm happy you did. Right, Rob? Right? Getting a lot of love this week, I'm sure. All right. So that was your top 5. I guess I should go into my top 5. And my top 5 scandals, I go a little deeper into the history of everything. First one is, did you ever hear the first Superman, George Reeves?
Right.
And you remember he was found dead from a gunshot wound that they figured was suicide. But there's a lot of cases out there saying that he really didn't kill himself, that they really think that, it was someone he knew that killed him, or someone like this woman from his past that had killed him. And it's one of those things that's never, ever been solved. They made a movie about it, Hollywoodland. Well, I mean, it wasn't just about that, but, it was a big part of it. Ben Affleck playing Superman.
And then there's the Superman curse.
But is it though? I mean, it's been two people. It's been two people out of how many?
See, when I read it, I thought there was something with somebody else who had portrayed Superman. In between George Reeves and Christopher Reeve.
So if your last name is Reeve or Reeves and you play Superman, you're fucked.
Are they related?
Right. All the other Supermen just either their career tanked or, whatever. They did fine. Number 2 on my list. This one was huge. And that was the death of Marilyn Monroe. Now, why this one was so huge is because at the time, Marilyn Monroe was chilling with the Rat Pack. She was chilling with JFK. And then everybody remembers the happy birthday, Mr. President. She wasn't trying to be sexy in that scene. She was fucking high out of her face. Yeah. They think that there's everything from the mafia killed her to the CIA killed her. But there's not very many people that believe she actually just overdosed. And that's going to be one of those ones that we will never, ever know the truth about on what happened to poor Marilyn Monroe there. Rob says, Kennedy's didn't want to share. Jesus Christ, Rob. I really need to read these before I post them. Let's be true, though. Bobby Kennedy wanted his brother to have nothing to do with Marilyn or the Rat Pack. And that's when all of this started to fucking fall apart. So it's not Reeves. Look at Brandon Routh, career suicide. I like Brandon Routh. And he works. He was just on DC's Legends of Tomorrow. And he was in Scott Pilgrim. Stop it. You be nice to that man. He is very nice. He is a very nice gentleman indeed. All right. Next on my list, I mean, this is what sparked it all. The whole Me Too movement doesn't start without this piece of human garbage getting accused, and rightfully so, of just being, like, basically they accused him of being the devil, which, I mean, the devil would take offense to that, I think, because Harvey Weinstein is literally the biggest piece of shit on the planet that's still living that we know of. I mean, this is a guy that used power, influence and held this over weaker people trying to get into the industry. He held their lives and their careers in the palm of his hand, and he perpetuated. Sorry, it's hard to say with the nose. Perpetuated the horrible side of Hollywood that had been happening forever anyways, and he was perpetuating it and making it worse. I fucking tip my hat to women like Rose McGowan, who sacrificed her entire career for going after this guy. Also, we talked about Quentin Tarantino and Uma Thurman a little bit earlier. Another one we don't see anymore is Uma. Because of her fucking coming out against Harvey and fucking Quentin as well. I mean, I'm sorry. There's not many people in the world that deserve this title. Fuck this guy with a hot poker. Like, really. I'm just saying. I hope, and I know it's not the case, but I hope there's a way that this guy gets put in general population.
Or accident while transferring.
I don't want to see him die. I'm not one of those people that likes to see people die at all, because I think pieces of shit like this, death is like the easy way out.
True.
This is a guy who should have to suffer mentally. I'm not even talking physically, mentally, which I think is worse, who should mentally have to suffer the rest of his life. Just my opinion. As we get deep again. It's not going to get any easier because we are doing Hollywood Scandal. So up next on my list, this one hurt. I mean, out of all the scandals in Hollywood, I think this one hurt everybody around the world the most. And that was Bill fucking Cosby. Like, I mean, and found guilty on all 3 counts, as we see an aggravated incident, like slipping roofies, This is the guy that chastised Eddie Murphy for swearing in his comedy routines. Now, don't get me wrong. Oh, we didn't do our Father's Day show this year because of everything being off. But every year when we do our Father's Day show, Cliff Huxtable is number one or close to it.
Yeah.
But Bill Cosby, the human being, which it feels wrong to even call him a human being at this point. I mean, yeah. When it was two people accusing him, I was like, nah, no. What was it? 28 people? Was that at the end? Like, I'm sorry, but fuck that guy, and fuck you for putting out that falsehood to so many children and so many families that this was the way to be. And I'm not just talking the Cosby Show. I'm talking about all the PSAs you did. I'm talking about all the TV shows you did post Cosby Show. Fat Albert, comedy specials, showing up on Carson and talking about how good of a person. Like, fuck you. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, though. Not even a little bit.
I was going to say, don't be sorry.
According to Family Guy, John Goodman keeps food from his kids. If it's on Family Guy, it's true, yeah. No. Biggest
met
scandals.
John Goodman in New York when he was hosting Saturday Night Live. We were doing the NBC tour, and he was hosting that week. Jewel was the musical guest, and we were on the set of Dateline NBC, and John Goodman went walking past. And then he came back into the doorway and peeked his head in. And he's like, hey, what's going on? And he joined our tour.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah, he seems like that guy. He
Yeah.
really does. He seems like that guy. He's a great actor, but he seems like that guy that gets as many good roles as he does because he's a good guy and people want to be around him.
Yeah. No,
Like, hey, we got a great actor and he's a great guy. Fuck, let's bring him on.
Yeah, he completed the tour with us, and then he hung out with us in the lobby while we waited for our bus and took pictures with everybody and chatted with everybody, and he was just absolutely the nicest guy.
Fair. Ron says biggest scandals, Justin T and Doug F. So Justin Timberlake and Doug Ford. Gotta be. It's Justin Trudeau. You took your shot, buddy. You took your shot. Do you feel better now? Graham Arnold. What Harvey did was terrible, but without him, we wouldn't have the casting couch. I thought it was going to be without him, we wouldn't have the crackdown on the casting couch, but Graham. Oh, pudding. Bill Cosby pudding. Bill Cosby's career was great. Loved everything he did on TV, but what a cunt in real life. Yeah, man. Like, absolutely. It sucks, man. It really does, especially if you're an 80s kid. Like, we were kids that, like, we were children in the 80s. So Cosby was a huge deal to us. Like Steve said, between Fat Albert and the Cosby Show, I mean, that was 10 years of our life.
Yeah.
Easy. It was, and very formative years. Sorry for the C-bomb there. Why are you sorry? I posted it and then said it. It's all right to say cunt on our show. I have no problem. I will say cunt. I will say moist. I will say, what is the other words people don't like?
Rural.
Rural?
Rural.
Like the rural area?
Yeah, like urban and rural.
Like rural.
Rural.
Like rural area.
If you say it times, it loses all meaning.
Jello commercials, I always associate with Bill. Yeah, man. I'm sure he's getting his pudding popped in prison. No, he's not, because he's in PC and he's in celebrity jail, which is not the same thing. Okay, cunt. I hope you got it out of your system. And number one, because we went through the top 4 on my list. This was hard for me to find a number one because there were so many that we mentioned as well with Quentin Tarantino, Roman Polanski, and all these other like really, really heady ones. But I went with one, not so much Hollywood, but it was definitely entertainment, and one that we still don't know who did it. And there's been multiple movies as of late. And that's the murders of Tupac and Biggie Smalls. I mean, how are you going to get murdered on the Vegas Strip and nobody saw a fucking thing.
After a Tyson fight, where there are hundreds of people around.
I mean, arguably, the two GOATs in hip hop. I mean, the only other argument for better overall hip hop career for being the GOATs is Eminem. Don't hate me. Like, it's true. Like, fuck off. I don't care. You go watch any rapper, they're all going to say the same thing. It's fucking Eminem.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is one of those things. Like, how did nobody know? And then we've got all these movies, and some of the movies are saying that the cops were involved. Some of the movies are saying that other people, like, it was Pac's guys that were getting revenge on Biggie and vice versa, that Biggie had Pac killed. Because Pac was shot in Biggie's house first. Remember, he survived that first time, getting shot in the lobby. I mean, there's just so much there. But yeah, it's one of those ones that I don't think we're ever going to find out the actual truth.
Yeah.
I think the only people that really know the truth about Biggie is Suge Knight and Puff Daddy. I'm sorry, but Batman always taught me. Batman always said, when you're trying to figure out a crime, figure out who profits the most. And who profited more off of Biggie's death than fucking Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whichever generation you came up with him. I mean, so yeah, that's my number one. Okay, what do we got here? I've got a non-Hollywood scandal, your temperature post. Yeah, it's a meme, folks. If you're on the Ryan's All Things Geek page and you saw the meme, how we said how in Canada, if it's 10 degrees, we're wearing shorts and whatever. And then in England, it's this. And then we're like in the States, are just trying to figure out what that means. Dude, it's a joke. We get that the people that live on the border towns might know that stuff, but come on. Rob says it was a big L. Yeah, huge loss. Snoop had nothing to do with it, I don't think. Although I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. What about Seventh Heaven, dude? That was a big one too. Yeah, man. And maybe, and I forgot to mention this one, but probably the two biggest pieces of shit scandals in entertainment history had to be these two.
They have been annoying celebrities since 2000 fucking whatever.
2003 or whatever it's been. I also heard Clowny Shark was impersonating two RatG personality scandal. We showed you. I thought it was Shaggy that killed Tupac and Biggie, but he still says it wasn't. Graham,
You win.
This is the first time I've seen you comment on the show.
Win,
Dude,
Graham.
make sure you come back every week because you're fucking killing me. Everybody loving it. Yes. All right. So that's it for the top of the show, the first hour of the show. Holy shit. But yeah, that's it for our scandals. If you have any more, feel free to throw them in. We will be getting to our news. We don't have Jordan James in this week, but go check out the Jordan James Show. New episodes drop all the time. This week he had on Telvin Lewis, which is great. But the Jordan James Show is Discovering the Path to Success with Jordan James. Check him out. New episodes, I believe, every Tuesday. Please do that. And before we get to Steve's 5-second movie review, you do have a new movie to review this week. You got a sequel. What are you reviewing?
I am reviewing The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, starring Selma Hayek, Ryan Reynolds, and Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson.
Right, motherfucking on. Yes, we do rock. Thank you. Yeah, so that'll be fun. Before we get to that, I do want to let you know, right above Steve's head there, just to his left, you'll see DocNet. And you're wondering, what is that logo? Well, DocNet, that is our sponsor of our show. DocNet, internet, and home phone. For any of you geeks or non-geeks that use internet or home phone across Canada and you're looking to save some money, give Tony a call. Go over to docnet.ca. They've got all the great prices out there for you. You're wondering, hey, how fast is it? I don't fucking know. I really don't. All I know is my son's here right now. I say this every week. He's playing Xbox in the other room. As he's playing Xbox, he has YouTube on his cell phone, watching that live streaming. I'm live streaming to you. I've got my PS4 on in the background, as well as my TV going, which is hooked up through my internet. R.A. Seagwood says it himself. Great service. I know he has it as well. Folks, do yourself a favor. Save some money. Go over to docnet.ca. Tell them RatG TV sent you. And hook yourself up. DocNet, connected your home to the world. I'm pretty sure that's somebody else is saying, but I'm using it. Yeah, yes, great service. Selma Hayek. Ooh la la. See. Jordan Show is brilliant, very good for mental health too. I'm not affiliated, but please check them out. And do they have TV? I don't know. Do they offer? Did I just say internet and phone? I just dadded you. I just dad lined you. I used a dad line. Did I say that? No, I didn't. Did I? But yeah, so docnet.ca. Now, is it a good time for us to get into Steve's 5-second movie review? I do believe so. Well, with that being said, it's time for Steve's 5-second movie review by Steve. Yeah. Jazz hands. All right, Steve. So you've got the movie The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which is easy for me to say. Yeah, tell us a little bit about this movie before you get into the review.
So, did you see the first one?
I did.
You did.
I liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah, it wasn't great or anything, but it was a lot of fun. It was a Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson movie.
Right. Yeah. I felt pretty much the same. I thought it was okay. Great casting. I love all three of them. But the first movie was meh to me. There were some enjoyable moments, of course. So I was a little reluctant to go see this one. I do love Samuel. I love Samuel. I love Ryan. So I gave this one a chance, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with the review.
Well, I am anticipating that. To tell the truth, my son watched the first one and he fell asleep during it. He said he just didn't like it. So I'm like, I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was great. It was typical Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, Selma Hayek. So as long as I went in thinking that, I was fine, and it was still more believable than a Fast and the Furious movie.
Right.
You saw the newest one, right?
That was almost going to be my review tonight, but
you saw it though, right?
No, I didn't end up watching it.
Oh shit! I wanted to talk about that so badly.
Oh, you can spoil it. I don't care.
Oh, there is no spoiling that shit. You can't spoil something that's already fucking rotten. I'm sorry if I've got a pile of rotten shit over here. I can't spoil it anymore, and it's already been spoiled. I'm sorry, folks that like those movies, but holy fuck. Anyways, we will get to that in just a second. Ryan Reynolds can do no wrong. Yeah, I agree. I'm not gay, but I would be. Kidding, mostly. All right. So, Steve, I am going to put 5 seconds on the board. You are going to give us your review for The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Yes.
If you're ready, sir, your 5 seconds are on the board. You may begin now.
I like this movie so much. I would guard Selma Hayek's body using my wife.
I'm so sorry, Amber. I am so sorry.
I might get hit, man.
What's that?
I might get hit, man.
Yes. Yeah, well, that happens. What? You're all back tonight? I know I forgot to call you earlier, Jordan, or we would have had you on, but we did give the shout out for the Jordan James show. Not only that, Luke Tuff gave you a big shout out saying to go check out your show. And we made sure to tell people to go check out your newest episode with Telvin Lewis. We got you, brother. We got you. Steve, did you do A Quiet Place 2 yet? I'm looking forward to it, but I need your okay. I think we did the review a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I reviewed it a couple weeks ago. Geez, what was I can't think of, if I think of it, I'll spell it off for you. But
Yeah, I think you gave it a good review though. Like you
yeah, I
said, you
think
liked
we did
it.
a good review. Yeah,
The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. For when they never made Red 3, but you need that cash grab, and Deadpool 3 is fighting for rights for other cameos. Right.
yeah. Like I said, the first one was kind of mad for me. I really like this one. This one was atypical. Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson, and it just this one really worked.
Good. That's exactly what I want to hear, especially from these two. I absolutely love both of them.
A lot of fun, this movie. A lot of fun.
And for anyone who hasn't seen the trailer yet, I am going to be kind to you right now, and we're going to play it here. Let's hope Facebook and the other streaming services don't take us down for this. But here is the trailer.
You're going to tell us everything you know. I'm not telling you, mother.
You can electrocute him all day. It'll only make him angrier. I, on the other hand, will tell you everything. Really?
Michael Bryce was trying to put his past behind him.
You need to forget bodyguarding. Repeat after me. No bodyguarding.
No bodyguarding.
Then he got pulled back in.
Let's go! Jesus!
To protect this homicidal nutbag's wife.
What is he doing here? I said, can anyone but Michael Bryce? I believe it's pronounced. Thank you.
In 4 days, all of you lump will burn.
Oh, Antonio Banderas.
Cyber attack. Do not screw this up. Oh, we are definitely.
Well, I like him too.
This up. I promised my therapist no bodyguarding. Let's not do that, guys. Let's show you focus. I got it. No, it's fine. You guys have at it. Maybe feather the brake a bit.
I need you to protect us. We're trying to have a baby.
May God have mercy on our souls.
Now repeat after me.
I'm unlicensed. I'm unlicensed. That's terrible.
Louder.
I'm unlicensed, and I don't give a. We need guns. We need boats. We need them. Are you ready to get your freak on? What? That came out wrong. But together. With us. That also came out wrong.
Now let's go do what we do and blow some things up.
I would make a great mother, don't you think?
I think you're yes.
Mother? Thank you. It must be your powerful asexuality that makes you such a good listener.
Can we just acknowledge that not only are we safe, this really feels like a newbie.
So many spoilers, though. So many spoilers in that trailer, though. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but it looks like there's a lot of spoilers in that. But I will be checking it out. So you did like it, though.
I definitely recommend it.
Nice. So what is it score for you?
I'd give this one probably a 3.5, 3.7.
Oh wow, yeah, out of 5.
Yeah, out of 5.
Not
Yeah,
bad. Out of 10, that would have sucked.
right.
All right. Well, that being said, that was Steve's 5-second movie review, and that just brings us to time for some news. Well, Steve, it's that time of week again where you give us the bad news.
Yeah.
You start us off, Dr. Death.
To read these off like the Grim Reaper or something.
No, Graham, there is no point watching the movie now. Just keep watching us. Grim Reaper, have your way.
Let's the first one, I had forgotten about this one. I did have it, but I forgot to jot it down, and you reminded me. This one, maybe you have to be a little older to remember this guy, but it would probably be easier for me to name the things he wasn't in and directed. I found out today. Directed and was in WKRP, Head of the Class, Dick Van Dyke, Who's the Boss, Saved by the Bell. He was on Bob Newhart, Simon and Simon, Night Court, Punky Brewster.
He was on Head of the Class?
Yeah, I mean, it might have been only a one-off episode.
Yeah,
but.
And I do remember, I was going to mention the Night Court because, as we all know, I watch Night Court every day.
Love Boat. He was just one of those guys. It was, one episode of everything on in the 70s and 80s, right? Frank Boner, of course, better known as Herb Tarlick.
Is it Boner or Bonner?
Boner.
I think it's Bonner because it's double N.
I hope it's Bonner. If it was Boner, it definitely would have been hard on him when he was young.
Why you got to be such a dick?
Just my nature. I'm sorry. Death makes me weird.
Well, hey, man. I was going to say something. I got nothing. Rest in peace to Frank.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Next up, don't have to be as old maybe to remember this guy. Definitely, very epic show when we were young. Character lived on into be a bunch of the movies, and that was Zombie from Pee-wee's Playhouse. John Paragon, died at the age of 66. He actually died on April 3rd, but his family did not make it aware until as of a few days ago. He died of heart disease related to alcohol. Like I said, a big star in the 70s and 80s. He was in a Cheech and Chong next movie. He was the director of the Wamba movie, if you remember that scene, Help Me Wamba.
Yeah, really, eh?
He did Elvira, Airplane 2, UHF.
Who was he in UHF?
Well, he was the nephew of the head of the other rival station.
Yep.
Yeah.
No way. I had no idea. Let's see. Are you able to blow through your nose yet? The smoke. I don't know. I like that hurts a lot. So let me see. Oh, petit peu. A little bit. Why you got to be such a dick? Because life is hard. Yes, that's what Steve and I do. We're all about the puns. I'm sorry. We're Gen X. We're all about sarcasm and puns and really not giving a fuck. I'm sorry. And yes, I know we'll get into the heat that I've been taking online for my Gen X talk.
It's funny a Facebook user is mentioning Scarecrow and Mrs. King because this is a show that has been a topic of conversation in our house. We were talking about something. Somebody in Amber one day said, "Oh, that person was on Scarecrow and Mrs. King." I'm like, never heard of it. I'm like,
what is that?
Right, exactly. I'm like, that's not a real show. And then we argued, and she looked it up, and she proved to me it was a real show. So it's funny that Facebook user mentioned that.
I'm looking it up right now. Wait, that's what this show was called? I thought this show was called something else. I'm going to show you. Hang on. I'm going to upload the picture. I'm sure you've seen it before. Or these two at least before. Excuse me, sorry. You tell me though, bud. Where did I just download that to? There we go.
Yeah, see,
I recognize both of them, and I recognize them together. That show, I thought they were like not McCormick and McCormick, but I thought it was some type of show like that, like Night versus Night, or like some kind of I thought their names were in the title, but Scarecrow and I guess Scarecrow and Mrs. King is the names, but I've never fucking heard of that.
No,
I apologize, but not us. All right. Well, moving on from that. That was it from the Dead Files.
That's it for the deaths. So I do have some more bad news, but we'll get to that.
Okay. Well, I've got some. We go from death to kind of death related, and I would say good news is this piece of trash. Officer Derek Chauvin was convicted. 21 years, 22 years, I believe he got.
Yeah, 22.
Guilty on
23.
all three. Yeah, guilty on all three counts. Don't get me wrong. When I say this, I don't say this lightly. He got off easy. And I'm not saying I am unhappy with the verdict. I am very happy with a 22-year conviction of this piece of shit. What I'm saying is 22 years is still 22 years alive, as opposed to George Floyd, who will never see his kids ever again. So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, he's getting off easy. Hopefully, that's 22 years in GP, and hopefully he survives all 22 years. But I hope all 22 years is a living hell for that guy. Honestly.
Yeah, I believe I read somewhere.
What? What's that for? The Scarecrow and Mrs. King thing? We have no idea. He should have got more, or just throw him in GP. GP, yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Throw him in General Pop, G Pop, Gen Pop, GP, whatever your.
So I have my suspicion the Facebook user is Amber.
Tell Amber I said, thanks. You're helping our algorithms. But yeah, so he got 22 years. There you can see everything that he got there. Obviously, this is courtesy of KLFY 10 Channel 10 News. But yeah, good riddance.
Yeah, sorry, I was saying I believe I read somewhere that the maximum sentence that this carried was 30 years. So I mean, he got almost the maximum sentence.
Yeah, well, hey man, you should have got max, but like I said, this is still good. This is still a very good. This isn't one that anyone's going to complain or should complain about. I won't say that won't, because people will complain no matter what. You give someone $1 million for absolutely nothing, and they'd find something to complain about. His prison pick makes him look like the cunt he is. Cunt. Luke, you're just happy that we said you could say that. All right, so let's move on from that cunt from a cunt to Gunther.
Yeah, if you watch the Friends reunion, Gunther, who was one of the main reoccurring characters in the show, he was a barista at Central Perk. James Michael Tyler is diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer. So, as Amber enters in and says, "Why doesn't it say my name when it comes up?"
Say my name.
Yeah, so James Michael Tyler, hope he pulls through this, but stage 4, I mean,
that's a tough one. Stage once you get to around stage 4, that's tough. Now it was funny watching. I shouldn't say funny, but it was interesting watching the Friends reunion special and hearing how he was never originally supposed to be a member of the cast at all. Like, he was just basically an extra, and then he just kind of stood out to them. And then next thing you know, he's a regular on that show, and he'll go on as a legend to multiple generations just because of that show and its popularity. So, sorry, round 2. Well, here's hoping the best, but like you said, stage 4, it's tough.
Yeah.
Well, we go from Gunther to up next. You know what Cameo is, right?
Yes.
It's that new app that everyone's using, and you can pay celebrities. Yeah, you get shout outs from celebrities. Someone paid Tom Welling, who played Clark Kent on Smallville, probably the most popular iteration of Superman on television because it lasted 10 seasons. He was on Cameo doing a video for someone, and he mentioned that there is a Smallville animated series in the work, and that the majority of the cast, he was hoping to get the majority of the cast back. I'm going to assume when he says majority, he does that on purpose because they have to exclude Allison Mack after the whole sex cult thing, and her.
Hey, I
Is she in
remember
jail? Is she?
I
in
don't
jail?
remember what happened, but I do remember the scandal itself.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, and that could have made our list too. Oops. Did you say cameo? Yes, I know. I did say cameo, but what was that song Cameo sang?
Oh.
Word up, word up. Ow. What's the word? The word up. Was that cameo?
I have no idea, but I do remember the song. Now that
I
you
think
do
it-
that,
Yeah, I think, well, because I nailed it. Word up. Oh, I was right. Luke Tough. All right. What's the word? The word up. You don't come on.
the nasal thing really helps.
Right? I'm wondering though, this is all clear if I'll have my vocal range back. Not that I was ever a great singer, but I could at least, switch to the different octaves. Whether they were on key or not, it's a different matter altogether, but I could at least go there, fake my way through a song. I really hope that's coming back. Oh my God, this hurts so bad. That was my joke. And it was a good joke, Luke. Thank you very much. So we move on from Smallville. We go from that onto a new movie that's out based on kind of like 2020 lingo.
Right. So this is a BET original movie. It's
Oh, it's a BET movie.
yes. And as I just read about this, like I knew about this story a couple days ago, and I knew I was going to add it to my list. And then today I was reading some more about it, so we'll get to that. Movie is called Karen, of course, based on the real life Karens of the world that have been exposed to social media. It stars Tara Manning, who of course played Punxsutawney, I believe, in Orange Is the New Black. Great character on the show. Today I was reading, I guess, more and more people are seeing this movie now and saying there's a lot of comparisons to Jordan Peele's Get Out.
Yeah, I've heard that as well, which is I don't know, how do we feel about that? Is that is that a good thing?
Yeah,
Like, I
definitely.
like Get Out, but I didn't think it was as good as everyone said it was, honestly.
Yeah, and this movie, I think the real life Karens of the world have provided enough for a 90-minute movie,
And it's on them really at this point, right?
Rip off Jordan Peele's Get Out, I don't know, but I'm definitely interested to see this one.
Well, here, you know what? Let's for the fans who haven't seen the trailer, let's take a quick look here. I'm going to pull it up here on our feed here. You see it okay?
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is a long way from East Point.
Baby, you just gotta give it a chance. Tell me about your new neighbors. They're black. Do you mind keeping it down? If you don't comply, I'll tell the manager.
Somebody's taking home security serious.
Hi, I am Karen Drexler. I'm your neighbor. You need to be taking your trash cans off the curb right when the trash is picked up. Is she nice?
Yeah, she's nice.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Karen, hey, enjoy yourself.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen. I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive. Yep.
I left my wallet with my ID at home. Leave us alone. We didn't do anything.
How the heck did you end up moving to this neighborhood? Next thing you know, we have criminals. You take care of him, and I will take care of her.
Would you mind stepping out of the car?
My office has uncovered some disturbing information on her and her brother.
She doesn't like black people.
We have a search warrant.
Well, I'm black.
I know, she doesn't like you either.
I want to sell the house.
What I do? You can't tell me, huh?
We are living next door to a racist.
You went in her house? You wouldn't want your wife to know our little secret, right?
There's no outstanding police procedure back there.
What do we have here?
We got a hammer. Everything looks like nails.
You people are very angry.
Shut your mouth.
bad things happen to people that don't comply.
Damn. So here's my thing, and I'm thinking right away when the wife says we need to move. Part of me is like, no, fuck them. I'm not going to move. Let's prove a point, and we're going to stand our ground. But does that ever really accomplish anything?
All right.
But if you do move, they win. And people are going to probably hate this trailer already, I'm guessing, right? Because they're saying it's inaccurate and it's attacking white people, blah, blah, blah. It's not attacking white people. It's attacking certain people, a certain type of person. Now, predominantly, they have been white, but there are Karens of all ilks around the world, mostly white. But we've seen that actual video of that Karen in Central Park who's walking her dog, who a black guy's just jogging by or whatever it was, and she freaks out and calls the cops on him, and he gets arrested. Like, I mean, that's huge. Like, it's all based on real accounts of videos we've seen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it's a pretty divisive one. The only thing that upsets me is that it's on BET, and not because it's on BET. I figure a movie like that should have a worldwide fucking release, and it should have been a big Hollywood movie. Like, honestly. Luke says they copied my original script. It was a bloke called Kevin who got his nose up in your business, but ultimately ended up being a great neighbor. I think they also call that Neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy. I don't know, man. So are you going to watch that movie, though, or would you watch it?
I'm definitely going to try and find it somewhere, and maybe if I do, I'll review it next week.
Nice. Can't wait. And for your F9 review. Because, nothing says car movie like driving a Pontiac Fiero in outer space. I didn't say flying. I said driving. They were using the steering wheel, dudes. They were using the steering wheel. Like, when we hit the brakes next. Sorry, it just makes me so angry. Did you see the trailer for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings?
I think so.
Yeah, well, it just dropped. I don't know if you know much about Shang-Chi because he's a street level hero from Marvel. So he's like on par with Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, all of those. But it's the first Asian-led Marvel movie starring Simu Liu from Kim's Convenience, playing the lead. Now, the Mandarin's in this movie. We all knew about that. But in the trailer, we saw this. There's a cage fight happening between, on the right, that is Wong from Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange's apprentice, played by Benedict Wong. And the Abomination on the left from the first Hulk movie with Ed Norton. So he is back. The Abomination is back, which is huge. Which means, so people always wonder why there isn't a solo Hulk movie, but Hulk is in all these other movies. It's because Marvel owns the rights to the Incredible Hulk, but they don't own the distribution rights. Universal owns those rights. So they determine whether there could be a solo Hulk movie, much like Sony. This is big that we're seeing the Abomination in this movie, but it's not all that big if you think about it, because General Ross from that movie, played by, oh my God, I can't think of his name. William Hurt? Anyways, he's been in a whole bunch of Marvel movies playing the same character, General Ross. But I think it's huge. And not only that, there was this other clip where they showed what people thought was a dragon under, and that is the character. Now, you know how Marvel's big on alliteration? Peter Parker, Dr. Doom, Reed Richards. This is Fin Fang Foom. They're
I
gonna
believe
have a dragon
that's
in this
my
movie.
Big Bang Theory.
Yes, exactly. That was one of the Raj's big ones where he's like, and finally, Fin Fang Foom. That is Fin Fang Foom right there. I honestly think it's awesome. Luke says, if only Karen was a Blumhouse production.
Right?
Oh my God, right? Have you watched Fantasy Island yet?
I have.
Was it bad? Because a lot of people said it was the only Blumhouse that failed.
It was bad.
Oh, that's too bad. Because I like the actor and I love the TV series and I love the take they had on it.
I wanted to like this movie, and yeah, no. But speaking of Blumhouse, thanks for the segue. Halloween Kills is coming out, and we got the trailer just a day or two ago. The date is October 15th of this year. This is of course the Danny McBride written version, to which we got us. Now, the last one starring Jamie Lee Curtis and her family. Now, this one was supposed to be taken as a direct sequel from the original. So it's just 40 years later. All those other movies never happened. Michael comes back, and this one picks up literally where the last one has left off.
So should we take a look at least the first 17 seconds? Because you said it gets too gruesome to show the whole thing.
It is very violent, so watcher beware.
All right, so beware. We're not going to show the whole thing. You said to stop this when?
Just as the fireman scene.
Okay. So, folks, here's what we got. I think it's 17 seconds or so. We're not going to play the full 2:30, but here you go. So according to you, I can't go any further than that right there because it gets very gruesome. What did you think of this trailer? And what do you think of this new iteration of Halloween?
So Halloween's one of those series I always really loved. The first two original Halloween movies were just, he wasn't like Jason. He wasn't this unkillable, force that just came back every time and he wasn't Freddy. He was just a psychotic, a very strong psychotic. And that's what I loved with the first two Halloween movies. Then we got Season of the Witch, where if you watch this full trailer, you'll see an Easter egg to Season of the Witch in that full trailer. So they do pay tribute to that. I thought this movie was great. The first one, Danny McBride, of course, a really weird choice for him to write, but he got...
he did better than Rob Zombie?
I liked it more than the Rob Zombie. And I really liked the first Rob Zombie one, the sequel not so much.
I was going to say.
Yeah, but this one, and we also now know that we are going to get Halloween Ends in 2022.
Bullshit. I'm just saying, not bullshit that the movie's going to come out. I mean, bullshit on the title. And yes, that will be the title. But I'm calling bullshit. It's Halloween. These movies will never, ever end.
Hopefully
they're outlasting Jason and Freddy.
I was just going to say, hopefully the legal battle over Friday the 13th ends soon, and we can get another Jason movie, because we haven't had one since 2009, which I thought was the best Jason movie of them all.
Fair. All right. Going back to the Fast and Furious, I'm waiting for F10, Fast 10, where they go up against Nosferatu.
That would be I would watch that.
Corvo says, I thought of an old scandal, Tanya Harding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sports, and it turned into entertainment. Figure skating was never bigger than it was at that era. And we're not just talking about it had, the Tanya Harding was like the cap on how popular figure skating was at that time. Elvis Stoico, Kurt Browning, Scott Hamilton. I mean, there was never any point in history that the two of us, at least, never mind the majority of sports fans, like male sports fans from them, would know any names from figure skating. Christy Yamaguchi. Like, I'm just saying, like, man, it was a big point. And then the Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan thing was just Holy shit. That was a culmination of how big figure skating actually was at that time, that someone was willing to fucking go WWE and hire someone to
And
fucking watch with a crowbar.
I believe around the same time there was that the cheerleading murders too as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I know that.
Yeah, it was somewhere in like Texas, I believe, where they take their cheerleading very serious, and there was there was a murder. It's I believe it was like a W movie, like Women's Network movie.
Oh,
But
really? Yeah, I'm not too sure, honestly.
it really messed up, man.
So Ron says, biggest scandal of this week, Ryan stealing Velma's glasses. So I've been doing TikTok a lot lately. And I made a post a couple weeks ago about how one thing I'm trying to work on in my life is not focusing on when I make a post or anything like that, where I get hundreds of likes and things of praise, and I'll get one negative comment, and that's all I focus on. And the only reason why I think about that is because I see it so often with Kevin Smith, and I think on Kevin Smith's show, and I think we even mentioned it on the last show. Said that, and then I post these videos on TikTok, just reaction kind of videos where I stitch to something someone else has posted, and people love them. Like they're blowing up more than anything I've ever really posted before. I'm not gonna lie, it's been really good that way. But I've had 2 negative comments, and I'm fucking shook. Like I'm fixated on them, and I can't get over it. I'm going to show you guys right now.
Fred?
Whoops. You can hear it going there, but I'm going to rewind it and set it up here for you guys so you can see. This is the scandal. One of the scandals. It's the Velma one, and then I did another one with midgets, and that got some scandal too. But so you guys tell me, is this bad or just bad taste? I was told it was rude.
Jinkies, I lost my glasses again. Fred? Daphne? Shaggy? Scooby?
No, Velma, I haven't seen your glasses anywhere.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. No, like I didn't think it was bad.
Hey, my dog needs out, and I'm the only one around, of course. I got to get someone to do it.
Let your dog out. I'll go on to the next story then, or I'll talk to some of these comments here as I put Steve on the solo instead of myself. But that happened. Was it bad, folks? What do you think? Was it really that bad? The Black Phone is another Blumhouse I'm looking forward to. I've never heard of that one. I say great camera work. Thank you. Love it so much. Oh, for Halloween. Yeah. Halloween Kills looks great. And yeah, all right, cool. And Fantasy Island was not good. We know. William Hurt and Sam Elliott. Yes, it was William Hurt. But I don't think Sam Elliott ever played General Ross. Anyway, so there we go. Yeah, that was one of the big things that happened this week. There was that one. And go check out my reels. Go check out my TikTok. Try to get me to 1,000. Want to be able to go live. So we had Halloween Kills. But after Halloween Kills, there was another trailer that came out. I'm not going to play it just because we've been playing a lot. And I'm surprised we've lasted this long without getting shut off. But did you see the new Candyman trailer?
I did watch it, yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, it definitely looked like a little bit, obviously modernized, a little bit creepier take on the Candyman. I don't know. I mean, the first one I don't remember ever really being that scary, so.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't think I ever watched the original one because I remember just thinking the whole premise was just Bloody Mary.
Pretty much, yeah. And I'm a huge Tony Todd fan.
Yeah. And I heard he's such a great guy too, because he's been at a lot of the cons that we go to and stuff. And everyone that I've talked to that have met him said he's just awesome. Graham Arnold, thank you. Sam Elliott was General Ross and Hulk. Oh, was it Sam Elliott? I thought it was William Hurt and all of them. I'll have to go back, but I'll take your word for it because you're probably Googling it. So yeah, there was the Candyman. Now we go from Candyman to someone having some candy of sorts on their last ever episode.
Yeah. You're speaking, of course, of Conan's last show on TBS, ending his 11-year run there. Of course, Conan's been a part of late night TV for 28 years. No danger there. We found out a couple weeks ago that he was going to be moving to HBO Max. We still don't know when exactly that's going to debut, but look for that. And he had some guests on his final shows. One included Seth Rogen, talking about smoking weed. And you know, I did watch this, and I don't believe Conan inhaled, but good for him for being a sport. Andy, on the other hand, definitely did inhale.
So I don't know if you can see this here, houseplant. This is some Seth Rogen.
Nice.
This is not. This is just a clove cigarette. I'm just showing you that container that the Seth Rogen weed happens to come in. It's just happenstance.
One of his other guests included longtime guest Will Ferrell, who commented on how many times do I have to come on this show, basically saying goodbye to your last show. He said he's done with it, and he just recorded a standardized message that he could use time his next show gets canceled or he moves on to somewhere else that he can just play.
That's awesome. And then there was I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get this up right now. But one of the ones that I really liked, and I'm going to try to put it on here for us. Give me a quick second here to mute this and go through the ad. But did you see Paul Rudd?
I didn't see the Paul Rudd clip.
You know, Paul Rudd's had a standing running gag on Conan O'Brien for every time he's been on that show. Have you known that at all?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
So every time Paul Rudd comes on the show, he says he's going to play a trailer for whatever fucking movie he's promoting, and it's always Mac and Me.
I have seen this.
Here is Paul Rudd's final appearance on the Conan O'Brien show. And, of course, it's Paul, so.
Saturday Night Live. I worked there long before you. But I just love, and people always push me for this, but people always ask me, what was the sketch that went terribly wrong when you were there?
Oh.
Was there ever a sketch at SNL that went so terribly wrong?
Yes.
That's not Paul Rudd.
There is a
Because
bunch
people
of
don't get to see it.
So I was one of the first movies I worked on was a movie called Purple Violets, and it was directed by Ed Burns. Mm-hmm. And he was a very nice guy. I was listening to him talk all day, and I would go back to the office and I would do Ed Burns, you know, and I would watch his movies. So it'd be like, you know, his movies are all kind of like, you know, the girl I like.
So we're gonna fast forward a bit.
Instead of a
You see that? Everybody had a mask, but they were all right beside each other. We're gonna scrub.
How dare you? Are you serious? Yeah. Yes.
Shit. And you will see what I'm talking about. Play the sketch.
This movie was so bad. It was so bad. But it was the other way around. Conan got Paul Rudd this time.
Yeah. That's awesome.
you can see why it bombed.
That's awesome.
Good on Conan for getting him on the last show.
Paul Rudd looks old, said no one ever. Yeah. That was awesome, though. I was happy to see that. And good for Conan. Out of all the late night talk show hosts, I think he's the most down to earth, maybe. I don't even know if that's the right word, because his world has never been down to earth, but he seems like the person I like the most out of everybody. Like, I would be able to hang out with.
Obviously, I was a big David Letterman guy, and I've always said that Conan O'Brien was the guy that modeled himself most after Letterman, because like Letterman in the 80s, Conan in the 90s and the early 2000s, he had those reoccurring characters and those sketches and the things of that type on the show.
Exactly.
Like the masturbating bear.
Well, like old school Johnny Carson. They were all from that Johnny Carson. Jay Leno was the one that kind of went away from that.
Triumph the Insult Dog.
Was that where Triumph came from?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought, what came first, Triumph or Ed the Sock?
Ed the Sock. I knew you were going to say that. I don't know. I'm not sure on that one.
We got our first bit of spam. It's funny because Conan doesn't look like Arnie. I'm lost. Luke's drinking whiskey too, though. So, there's another trailer. Well, actually, after the Conan thing, I don't know how this. We got mixed up here, but you'll go next here because this is a big deal for especially all Canadians.
Yeah, it's been 28 years since the Stanley Cup has come north of the border, and the last team to do that in Canada was the Montreal Canadiens. Of course, winning in overtime, knocking out Vegas in Game 6. Tampa winning last night. We now know that this will be the final. Every time, I thought this was an interesting stat. Since '93, and the Montreal last won the Stanley Cup, every Canadian team has made an appearance in the final except Toronto and Winnipeg. Yeah. And to be fair to Winnipeg, they weren't in the league for a few years.
Exactly. Now, couple things. The stat with the Leafs that I love, because Leaf fans love the slam Sabres fans, because Sabres haven't been in the playoffs for over a decade. And the Leafs have been there a lot in the playoffs lately. The Sabres have – the last time the Sabres won a playoff series was still more recent than the last time the Leafs won a playoff series. I'm just saying, watch the fights you pick, okay? Now, getting back to this series, though, we talked about it. If the Leafs had won this year, there's that asterisk beside it. So they would have had to have lived with that. And it's been so long. You don't want this to be the year you win a Stanley Cup. And I say that with every single Canadian team except the Montreal Canadiens, who have 26 motherfucking cups, and they're the only team that can consistently at least get to the playoffs and make a dent in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they have 27 cups and one of them there's an asterisk beside because it was a COVID year and you could only play basically 6 teams for the entire season.
Yeah.
Listen, they're the team that I want to see do this. And as a Canadian, I want to see a Canadian team win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could beat Tampa, though.
At the beginning of the playoffs, I picked Tampa and Colorado. I picked Tampa over Colorado in the finals. Colorado no longer there. They got beat by Vegas, obviously. So I think I'm going to stand by Tampa, though. And I think they're probably going to win this series. But it would definitely be nice to see the Cup come north of the border.
I'm with you there, buddy. I'm definitely with you there. Moving on. There was another trailer. Like I said, we're not going to play this one, though. But Transformer, Rise of the Beast. Looks like we're going to be getting some Beast Wars action in the movies. I don't know. Michael Bay, you turned me off of Transformers. I'm not going to lie. Those movies, that franchise, turned me off of a franchise that I loved growing up. You and I had a ton of the toys. We had Soundwave. I'm sure we both had Megatron, the gun. We both had Prime. I had Bumblebee, and Transformers wasn't even my jam. It wasn't even the favorite of my shows, but we all had the toys, right? But I don't know. Michael Bay, fuck those movies so bad. Those movies would have been all right if you would have made it like the cartoons where we could distinguish which fucking robot was what. Because you couldn't tell, aside from Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, they all basically look the fucking same.
Yeah, especially
Except for the black guy that you killed in the first episode or the first movie, Jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. What were you going to say?
No, I said especially the Decepticons. You couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, the Decepticons, holy shit. Like,
and that's not me being racist towards the Decepticons.
Yeah.
They all
Are Decepticons a race or I don't know what they would be. I hear you though. Xenophobic? They ran it too long. I had Megatron gun, got in trouble back in the day. Love that Megatron gun. Loved it. It was like one of my favorite toys, especially when you first had it and it could still fire the little tiny red missiles they would put in it that were supposed to be bullets. That didn't last long. All right, you're up next with some big news.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've seen this guy. He's been taking some grief on social media over the last year or so, just on the couple of times he has popped up over his, aging looks. I mean, we all get old. I don't know what people are expecting. Not everybody's into plastic surgery and Hollywood people.
Black don't crack.
Yeah. But Brendan Fraser made an appearance this week at the Tribeca Film Festival. He hasn't, not to promote this particular movie, but he does have a new upcoming movie where he's been putting on some weight for, and it's called The Whale. It's about a 600-pound gay man living in Mormon country in Idaho, estranged from his daughter, and starts depression eating.
Damn. Oh. That's pretty intense. And he has been around though, but he hasn't been really showing himself much. Have you watched Doom Patrol?
I haven't. I started to actually. I saw I think 2 episodes.
It's weird. Like even for me, it's weird.
Yeah.
But he plays Robot Man on there, so
that's right.
Which is mostly voiceovers, but he does get some episodes where they actually show him. He looks good for his age, to be fair. What do people want? A skinny guy with CGI? I mean, it's Hollywood. Here's the thing. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this without being offensive, because I don't mean it offensively at all. And I don't mean to say one to take down the other. But I'm all for stopping objectifying women. When can we start doing the same for men? I'm just saying, a lot of people got mad at me for that Scooby-Doo video, and just using that as a personal example. But nobody has problems with all the 30 to 60-year-old women posting TikTok videos about that 20-year-old kid from Crystal Beach who's going to be on Entertainment Tonight and New York Times, because all these cougars are swanning over him and saying nasty, nasty shit. I'm just saying, like, even playing field, yo. Even playing field. Like I said, I'm not saying that to denounce women or them being objectified, because I agree. If you're being objectified and if you feel like you're ever being attacked, and I'm a reason for that, I feel horrible. That's never my intent. But you shouldn't feel that way. But Stephen Amell on Arrow would get, and it's well documented, you can see it on podcasts, Michael Rosenbaum's podcast. He would talk about how often he would fight with producers on that show because they would find any excuse they could to have him do a scene without his shirt on. And he's like, why? I'm taking a business meeting. Why would my shirt be off in the fucking business, in the middle of a business meeting? And that's where, I mean, like, come on, you know, like, either it's all bad or none of it's bad.
Yeah.
You know, and I understand there's varying degrees. Like, if I was to put that on drugs, that analogy doesn't work because weed is definitely different than fucking heroin.
Wow.
But I'm just like, in this instant, come on, man. Like, He-Man's back, and people don't worry about him being in a loincloth.
Like I said,
That's been like that since the 80s.
Like you said, you mentioned, you know, how women act in strip clubs, and my girlfriend, you know, testified to that, saying, you know, like men are very respectful in because we, you know, there's unwritten rules in strip clubs.
No hands will touch.
Women are nasty, and I mean, I'm not putting myself in the same league as women who get objectified in public or get groped or whatever. But I mean, I have been groped in public. I've been groped at a concert, and we were up close, and I felt someone firmly grab my ass and squeeze it and then smack it. And I kind of turned to Amber just like this. And I said, "Did you just grab my ass?" And she's like, "No." And I turned around and I see this woman standing in the row behind me looking at me going,
Dude,
and I just looked at Amber and I'm like, let's go get a beer or something.
Yeah, for sure. You know how many times I've been at a bar, especially back in the day, like at Times Square or fuck, we would go to the States, what was it, Gilligan's? Bedrocks, we would go to.
For Bedrocks. I
gotta tell you how many times in the States I've had my crotch grabbed where you're just talking to a girl and you're trying to do the game like everybody is, and they just full up grab. Back then, if the roles were reversed and a girl's talking to me and I was just she would knock us, like Gen X, that's the way it is. The girls we grew up with, they would knock us out if we did shit like that. That's why we're respectful of women. And that's why people are always bagging on Gen X lately about how we're, you know, we don't care about anything and we're all sarcastic and we're like, just like, it's not that. It's just like, we're just like, we can only deal with the shit we can deal with. If it's something we can't deal with, we're like, oh, man. Anyways, as I go, it's all BS. Show me a soldier that ditches the armor to show his torso in place of protection. Exactly. You know, this one I don't agree with, and I'm sure you're just joking though. It's not sexist though. Bedrocks, yeah, Bedrocks was a shit. But yeah, man, I got their fucking the Down Under shit. Where's the crotch grabbing bar?
I don't know if the actual bar's still there, but if you come down for a visit, we'll take you to where the bar was, and maybe some of those same ladies are still around.
Did you see the aqueduct is torn down?
Yeah, man.
I kind of laugh every time I go by. And we could show you Times Square as well. Crime Square, as it was referred to. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the stories here. From Brandon Fraser, about him being shamed about his body, brings us out to new photos leaked of Michael Keaton on the set of the Flash movie. Him reprising his role as Bruce Wayne from the Tim Burton Batman movies, which is awesome. But because this is a Flashpoint movie, they're showing all these different realities. And in one of them, they're showing Supergirl from the Injustice. Anyone who's played the video games, the Injustice video games, or those comic books universe. And in that universe, Supergirl is the daughter of Superman and Lois Lane. Her name's Laura Lane. This is Sasha Cale who's playing her, and she's come under a lot of body shaming as of late for this photo. Now, people are freaking out about her abs because they're obviously fake in this photo. But we can also see she's wearing a fucking harness. And this is a set photo with no editing done whatsoever. So those abs, I guarantee you, are going to get airbrushed out. Like, we're not going to see that in the finished copy. I don't understand. Why do we just want to flip out on everything before we know what shit is? I don't know. I think she looks good, though. I mean, she looks like the comic book version, so that's all I care about. Yeah. Really. Anyways, that as as the Beatles would say, obla di, obla da. Life goes on.
Ringo, the least, I guess, talked about Beatle.
You like that segue,
Ringo, he's had his share of successes. Of course, Ringo Starr's all-star band has toured year after year, taking other midget musicians from other bands, usually with only one or two hits, and playing their songs, the Beatles songs. He was on, what was it, Shining Time Station?
Yeah,
Thomas the Tank.
Yeah.
Now he's got himself wrapped up had himself wrapped up in a lawsuit with a sex toy company over a male cock ring, I guess, for lack of a better word, called Ringo. He agreed to drop the lawsuit as long as they agreed to put a space in between the ring and the O, and he would allow them to get.
Does he own the fucking rights to the name Ringo?
I believe he had it trademarked, or
so both Ringo and Ringo Starr, or just Ringo?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's why he dropped them.
Yeah, because his last name's not Starr. His last name's Starkey, right?
Yeah, Starkey.
Do we know any other Ringos?
Not that I can think of.
Shit, let him have it then, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, well, speaking of letting them have it, have you heard the newest controversy coming from Warner Brothers, DC Comics, and the Harley Quinn fucking cartoon?
I haven't.
Have you watched the new Harley Quinn cartoon at all?
No, but I hear good things.
And by good things, it is the most obscene, rated R, whacked out show that you could think of for a cartoon, especially if it's associated with a comic book. Kaylee Cuoco, who everyone knows as Penny from Big Bang Theory, plays Harley Quinn or voices her in this. And like I said, it's an extreme show. She mentions how she thinks that Bruce Wayne or Batman fucks bats in real life all the time. And I mean, it's that type of show. It's that type of show. There's so much I want to tell you, but it's all spoilers. Anyways, in this season, they wrote an episode where Batman, sorry folks, but this is not suitable for work, but none of this show has been, is going down on Catwoman. And the WB and DC Comics made them pull the scene saying heroes don't do that. There's been quite the uproar about this. And Zack Snyder tweeted out a picture saying it's canon. Folks, I'm sorry. This isn't suitable for work either. But this is Zack Snyder's tweet. As we can see, this very much looks like Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Batman. Going down on Catwoman.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use the obvious pun here.
What's that? I want to hear it because I missed it for some reason, and I'm mad that I didn't have it.
Oh, he's eating the pussy.
Oh, son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Talking about Beatles, there's that story of Paul McCartney being a body double as apparently he died. Yeah, I've heard that too, and they say that's why in the picture from Abbey Road where they're crossing, he's the only one not wearing shoes. I don't buy it, but I've heard that. Chips? No idea. Send me a link for what? You need to be more specific and stuff. And when you need me to send you stuff like that, just personal message me. Because he's Batman.
And I argued if it was the other way around and Catwoman going down on Batman, would it be like, something like.
Right? Well, let's think about it. Superheroes have to go down. Obviously, I think Batman would be one that would go down. Nightwing would go down because Nightwing's a player. Like, he's a straight up player in the comic books, cartoons, everything. He's been in relationships with Batgirl, Starfire, I think he's one of the Wonder Women, like Donna Troy, I think. I mean, he's been with everybody, so I'd say he does. Wolverine for sure. There's no way Wolverine doesn't. Superman doesn't. Superman doesn't because he would think it's against his religion. Even though he's from another planet and knows he's from another planet where they have a different god, I'm pretty sure Superman's Christian or Catholic. So he doesn't. You know who does, though? Wonder Woman. You know who else? Aquaman. He's used to not having to use his breath, right?
He'd probably be the best at it.
He could. No. The best is it's one of three people. Venom, because of that long ass tongue. Sorry, 4. Elongated Man or Plastic Man, or Reed Richards, all for the same reasons. Because they could just stretch their tongue and do whatever. Or the Flash. Ladies, just think of how fast that tongue's going. This show just took a drastic turn for the worst. But I'm just saying that's
accurate.
What's up with Batman's eyes? She did taste like fish. Oh my god. Well, cats eat fish. Hulk. No, Hulk doesn't because Hulk he would kill a woman. He would kill a woman.
What would really
Bruce Banner, yes. Bruce Banner, yes. Hulk,
but
no. Hulk's mad.
You wouldn't want to be going down on Bruce Banner and get him angry.
Right. Oh my god, I just visualized that. Why? 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 Oh my god. Kurt Jr. says Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan, no, I say he wouldn't because Dr. Manhattan wouldn't have to. He's like God, so he could just think it, and the girl is already having the best orgasm of her life. It'd be Hulk Rip. Yeah. Thank you, Steve. You rock. Yeah, right? Like, I mean, that would have sucked. And that was the last story we had. Again, Tuesday, we have Courtney Gaines on the show. Famous actor. You can see him behind me as well. Children of the Corn, The Burbs. I mean, he's been in it all. He's been around for a long time, and I'm sure you've seen him. It's been a fun show back. 2 hours and 2 minutes. Not bad. We're almost on time like we normally do. Anything you need to tell us about, Steve, before we go?
Yeah, not much going on. I mean, the drive-in's back, so I'll definitely have a plethora of movies to review, hopefully. Hopefully that keeps going our way because our numbers seem to be in the right direction, staying under 300 for the last week, so.
Yeah, Fast 9's coming for you, I guess.
Yeah, it might, because I was looking at there are a lot of good movies coming out in July.
Yeah, Black Widow.
But the first week, I'm not sure.
Right.
So we'll see about next week. But yeah, definitely lots to review later in the month.
He'd multiply himself like he did in The Watchmen. True. Low key, I don't like The Watchmen. I like the TV show, the HBO show. Didn't like the movie or the comic books at all, though. Love The Burbs. Looking forward to Tuesday. Awesome. Yeah, tune in, Luke. Have your questions ready. I'll
be at work, so I'll have to watch this one post, but looking forward to it.
Fast 11 is coming. Dude, they're at Fast 9. I think they said they were going to do 10, and then they were moving to, I don't know, some kind of other kind of spinoff or whatever. But we'll see. Aside from that, I don't know what else we really got. Folks, if you have ideas that you would like to see for us to do for upcoming show themes, things like that, let us know. If you have something you're promoting, you want to come on the show and let us know about that, let us know. We will possibly bring you on, depending on what it is.
We'll put it in front of the people.
Yeah, we'll put it through the people, or we'll put it through us people and see what we say. Much love, guys. Thanks for another awesome show. Thank you, Luke, for the continued support. We appreciate it. It's coming. I said it here. I don't know what you're talking about, but I hope you're wearing a condom. Anyways, for the Wellandwingnut, it's your boy Zeus. Hopefully next time when we talk to you, I won't be as nasally. But with that, we are out of here.